It's a show. It's a podcast show. Welcome to the Julie Cross Podcast Show. Empowering, energising and entertaining. Hey friends, Julie Cross. Welcome to the podcast show. Want to talk a bit about the workspace today, and particularly in the area of service. So if you're leading people in the service industry, or if you're in the service industry, and everyone will be at some point. I mean, in any job we do, no matter what it is, we're serving somebody, and we should certainly be seeing the vision of that we are serving somebody. But I just want to talk about what service is and what it looks like, but also how it should be managed, because I think something that we've forgotten as leaders and as managers is that service has to be taught. It's not something you catch when you walk in the door. It's not something that I just absorb from you, and especially if we're dealing with our Y generation these days. So service has to be taught. So you would not expect, say if I was a hairdresser, I had an enthusiastic 17-year-old start a first day at work. I wouldn't hand her a pair of scissors and go, "You're excited. I see that. Well, here's some scissors. There's a man. Go and see how you go." You know, you'd think that's ridiculous. You wouldn't say to a mechanic on his first day of his apprenticeship, "Well, there's a car, mate. Go and have a tinker and see how you go." We would say, "Julie, don't be so ridiculous. They've got to learn how to be a mechanic. They've got to learn how to cut hair. They've got to learn how to service a car." It seems obvious, doesn't it? Well, people have still got to learn how to give good service. They've got to learn how to communicate effectively. And now more than ever is that relevant, more than ever, because communication is happening very much via thumbs. You know, young people have phones, and you know that they hardly ever use a phone to call anybody. They don't know actually how to talk on the phone. I had to remind my son one day that there was a button that you could actually ring, and I'd be on the other end of it. They're talking verbally, because all their talking is done via their thumbs. And so they can't say to a customer when they walk into your business, they can't text them from out in the back room in the tea room and go, "Hi there, welcome to our business. I'll meet you in aisle 5 in a moment." They actually have to be taught how to walk up, look this person in the eye and go, "Hi, welcome to your business." They need a script. They need a script to follow about what you expect them to say and how you expect them to deliver those words. That is taught behaviour. They don't have the skills to handle a complaint customer at your front desk. That would be learnt behaviour. We need to practice that. And that's called role playing. So you actually need to give them the words to say and then hear them say it. Because how could we possibly reprimand somebody or pull them up for their service if we've never actually seen them do it right? So like we would check their progress with being a car mechanic or a carpenter or a hairdresser, or a chef, we would check their progress with what they're saying verbally and how they're approaching their customers and what their body language is like, what their tone of voice is like, what their level of enthusiasm is like. We just can't leave it to chance and say, well, it's common sense. It isn't. It's learnt. And so as leaders and managers, we need to teach our young people and all people what we expect from them with regards to our standard of service and how to engage with customers in a way that would reflect the style of business and our passion for what we do and the vision for what we do. That's what's happening, that's what's being communicated, and if not, we need to work on that. And so it's a big job. Service has to be learnt, practiced and managed. It just can't be left up there up to everybody. And, you know, a service is produced at the instant of delivery. And this is why it's so difficult to manage. So we do practice it, and we do it, but in the end, when they pick up that phone in that moment, that's when it's been delivered. So if they answer the phone in a bad attitude, it's been done. It's been delivered. You know, if improperly performed, if you've put a customer off with that phone manner, you can't recall it, repair it, or replace it like you can a product. I've got the feeling about your organisation already. So apology becomes the only solution, and this is why service is so important that we're focusing on it. Now, the customer doesn't necessarily have a lasting material result of service. I mean, they do of your product. They take away a haircut, they take away their car service, they buy a new car from you. They've got that. But the feeling that you gave them with the value that you added to that purchase, that's internal. That's something I feel about you. And so this is why we need to start focusing more on service and inspiring our team to give the best of themselves and more of themselves in every interaction, that it's not just habitual and routine service. And that's what most people are doing out there. In a high-tech world, we've got to get back to high touch. And your people are the high touch. So let's invest in our people. I see people investing in marketing programs, but what is the point in spending thousands of dollars on a marketing program if your staff members aren't winning them when they come into you and aren't delivering on the promises that you've made in that marketing? Because then they won't come back. And so let us invest those dollars in our team members first to make sure we're winning the customers when they walk in the door. And so it all starts there. And a lot of people may not be aware, but this is one of my passions. This is one of the things that I do in my shows and that I speak about and have a focus on is retailing and service. So if that's something that you would love me to work with your team on, then please, let's talk. Let's talk about that. So, and let's all be aware of how important service is. You know, if you haven't done enough when they come in to have them raving about you, if your team haven't done enough to engage with them in a way that has them raving about you when they left them, and there's more work to do. There's more work to do. So, yeah, customer service, let's put it back in focus. High tech, high touch is what it's all about. Thank you for listening.
Love to hear your thoughts about this show, or if there is something that you would love discussed on the Julie Cross podcast show, then please head over to iTunes and leave a review. Love to hear from you.